Hello, and welcome to the Geopolitics Explained podcast. My name is Dylan. I'm the creator of Geopolitics Explained, and this has been recorded on the 15th of February 2024. Now, today we're going to discuss something that occurred around a month ago to this day. We saw on January the 16th, Iran launched missiles into Pakistan, and one day later, Pakistan retaliated, sending missiles and fighter jets back into Iranian territory. Now, on the surface, this could seem like Iran throwing aggression at anybody and everybody that it comes across. But we actually need to dig a little bit deeper than the surface level to find out what's gone on between these two states. So we're going to dive into that today and discuss the details. So, for the specific details of what occurred in this incident, from the Iranian side, Iran claimed to have hit two strongholds of Jaish al-Adl, which is an anti-Iran insurgent group based in Pakistan. Now, after this attack, Pakistan came out and said that the attack had actually killed two children, rather than members of the insurgent group. Now, when Pakistan retaliated, they claimed to have hit hideouts of anti-Pakistan ethno-nationalist insurgents that are based in Iran, and this attack killed 9 people. The first key question that arises from this is whether both sides have been truthful. Was Iran really targeting Jaish al-Adl? And in Pakistan's response, were they actually targeting nationalist groups against their own state? Now, we're currently in geopolitics seeing a lot of groups formulating attacks. We've got the Houthi rebels in the Red Sea. We've got Hamas in the Israel-Hamas conflict, and Hamas has been backed by Iran before. We've also got Hezbollah in Lebanon, who is getting involved in the Israel-Hamas conflict. But the difference this time was that this attack from Iran was the IRGC. It came directly from Iran. Now, there are many different reasons that Iran could have done this. Firstly, they could have been targeting Sunni groups, especially after we saw the attack last month at Qasem Soleimani's tomb that killed close to 100 people and was claimed by ISIS, who are also a Sunni Muslim group. Now, I think this is quite unlikely. A second alternative explanation could be that this Iranian attack was retaliation. On the 15th of December last year, we saw Jaish al-Adl carry out an attack on a police station in Rask, which is in Iran's Sistan-Baluchistan province. This retaliation could potentially be in response of that attack. However, the only difference here is that Iran hasn't launched attacks over the border into Pakistan before to deal with this group. So again, perhaps there's something a little bit deeper in Iran's reasoning to launch this attack. The final potential reason for Iran's attack could be that it wants to flex its muscles a little. It wants to show some strength, especially against another nation. Now, if we take a look at the consequences of what occurred with Iran firing their missiles and the response from Pakistan, on a state level, the consequences were quite small. If the truth has been spoken about which targets were actually hit by Iran and Pakistan. But either way, since the escalations have now died down, it appears that both states are incentivized to maintain a functional relationship. It could potentially mean that the Pakistani response actually deterred Iran from further escalating, or that Iran never intended on escalating in the first place. Finally, this also could be as simple as Iran seeking to send messages to the United States or Israel. It's well known that Iran isn't a particularly big fan of either state, with frequent chants of death to America and death to Israel emerging in Iranian rhetoric. Now, if the United States and Israel, who currently have quite a large footprint in the Middle East, were to lose some of their power and influence there, that would pave the way for Iran to potentially fill into any power vacuums that emerge. It's natural that they'd want that. Lots of different explanations for this that could have potentially occurred. The most important thing is that this hasn't escalated any further. It's clear that Iran has enough on its plate, and if Iran and Pakistan were to start escalating and flinging more than missiles at each other, both states hold strong relationships with the Chinese, who would immediately move in to mediate, as is reported that they did when this issue occurred around a month ago. In summary, I believe this incident was Iran flexing its muscles and attempting to send a message to the United States and Israel. Pakistan responded, and that was enough to deter an Iranian response. It's very likely that the Chinese could have also been involved. That's all for this week's episode of the Geopolitics Explained podcast. Just a quick update on a topic that is a very serious one. If you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to leave a review on the podcast platform of your choice. You can also share it with a friend who you think might enjoy it. If you want more content that's similar to this, you can head over to Geopolitics Explained on Substack, where I write blogs twice a week. On one post, I discuss an event in geopolitics that has occurred. And in my second post, I'm currently discussing self-sufficiency with a focus on the topic of energy. Thank you for listening. Until next time, this has been Dylan, signing off.